Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucking gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Time, night. What's the mission? To take down an aggressor. An aggressor refers to a physical being that's living through a quirk inside of somebody else's body. Apparently this one's quite explosive, living inside of a man's body who has recently gone on a rampage, destroying almost a whole entire city. Endeavor was sent on this mission alone, as he's more than enough to handle this. Maybe a little bit overconfident, he says. After all, he had been skipping out on his training just recently, because who'd catch him? After all, he's the second top hero. Who would even care that he's skipping out on it? As, he wanders into the city, just waiting for an explosion nearby, listening very intently. However, he finds that the explosion comes straight towards him. A man that hobbles down the street. Help me. Is that a hero?
Is there a villain chasing you? What are you even talking about?
As the man, it's here, inside of me.
So you're the one.
What?
Just hold still.
As then the man starts to ignite on fire.
You won't even touch me, hero!
As then an explosion happens right in front of, Endeavor, forcing Endeavor to shock put straight through two buildings. As Endeavor stops himself in the middle of the air using ignition. As then Endeavor powers up to full power instantly. He's already learned his lesson from not going full power. Basically lighting up the whole entire city. Everybody can see the sparks from flames guiding them to wherever they need to go. It's like the whole entire city's light grid was turned on all of a sudden. However, it was coming from one main source. The sun, its essence, was inside of Endeavor. He's like, take this! As then he uses it all in one flame charge, which instantly shock puts him straight into the villain, flying down, dragging the villain through the dust, and then dragging his face into the concrete. And then throwing him as hard as he can up into a mountain nearby, smashing through one, destroying it completely. The villain's body settles on the top of the mountain, so cold that it can't ignite itself anymore. This was all part of Endeavor's plan, of course. However, it just kind of happened, and he likes to act like it was part of his plan. Endeavor ignites himself all the way up to the top of the mountain. As he stands with his foot on top of the villain, he picks up the villain and sucks out the fire from his mouth. As all the fire that comes out from the demon, as it's like, no, no, no! As all the fire consumes into Endeavor. He says,
Can't believe this one actually burned me.
As he tosses it to the ground.
All he hears is, you called that a burn?
As, he has no exactly time to react as this shadowy figure ignites into a blaze of flame and then shock puts all of the energy that he has straight towards Endeavor, igniting Endeavor completely and consuming him in fire. Endeavor stood no chance and is incinerated completely. As time warps back to the morning before this act of, incineration, Deku wakes up from his sort of coma that he was put in after he had used his quirk so much he had overdone it, and that's all he really knows. He remembers back to when he had, as he had, destroyed completely the whole entire army of men, and then also Tomura and Kirigiri. I slaughtered them like pigs. God damn it. Bakugo. As then he looks up to see Midnight asleep on his legs. as he puts his hand onto her hair, starts stroking it, calming her as she barely moves an inch, kind of tweaks her eyes a little bit as she can feel his hand, and she smiles. After all the tears that had dried up on her face started to disappear. The lady came in, the old lady came in. She says, "Well, good news is you're alive." "Shh, you don't want to wake up Midnight. You know how she could get." And she's like, "Oh, trust me, honey. I know plenty." He's like, "Thank you. But there is somebody that wants to meet you. Please let them in. I need as much information from last night as I can get." As All Might, walks in, he's like, "Young Midoriya, or should I say old Alawa." Alawa's taken back. He's like, "But how?" "Midnight told me." "Ah, I see. She boasts quite a lot about you, and also worries about you constantly. She tells me about every single time you'd fight. It seemed like you knew exactly what you'd do, but you were uncomfortable in your body. Seems that you're not who you say you are. I'm fine with it, however. I don't need to know who you are. All I need to know is that you're going to protect us. Protect everyone. Why are you telling me this? You planning on retiring? Something like that. I see. You do sound like your old and weary side is starting to show." "Not yet, young Midoriya. However, I was thinking about one thing on the way here. Please, go ahead. You see, my quirk can be handed down." As Deku's like, "Should I act like I'm surprised?" He's like, "Whoa, no way." As in, All Might's like, I know, very impressive." He's like, "Crazy." All Might's like, Yes. And I was thinking, well, who better to have it than you? You had defeated almost every single villain on that battlefield that day, and done it with a smile, maybe maniacal, but also you led everybody. You helped this generation more than I could have. And so, Deku, I want you to have it." Oh wait, he calls him Midoriya, right? Fuck. So Midoriya, I want you to have it. As Alawa is like, "Should I just tell him?" "Yeah, maybe I should just tell him." "Well, you see, All Might." As he continues to stroke, Midnight's hair like she's a cat, and she gets more snuggled in as he continues petting. He says, "I'm actually from the past. This body is, of course, Mizuku Midoriya as you would know him. I am actually Alawa. Where do I know that name from? You may know me as the strongest hero from the past. I had taken down I was in the middle of defeating my older brother, Alpha One, when I was taken prisoner by time itself. He had used some sort of quirk to hinder himself and me in time. Freezing his own power, he had sent me to some sort of shadow realm, where I had hid for almost 400 years, until I came back in this body. I was the original successor to for the Alpha One, quirk. Your success, your grand elder of holder of the over One for All user. One for All's like, All Might's like, what? And Deku's like, shh, you don't want to wake up Midnight. As he's like, yeah. As then he holds her head down to make sure that she doesn't, wake up. He continues to send, yellow shockwaves through her brain, telling her to continue sleeping by brushing her hair. He says, yes, I am the original successor. And All Might's like, his brain breaks. He's like, holy shit. Wait a minute. So Are you more powerful than... Yep. Were you more powerful? Yep. Jesus. So that means... Can you actually, have all for one 2 times? I mean, one for all 2 times? He's like, I don't know. And all for one's like, well, why don't we just try it anyways? All Might, As Deku slowly takes up his legs from the couch, from the bed, as he walks outside with All Might, telling him all about, the powers, the different people that, had succeeded Deku. I mean, Alawa. And Alawa's like kind of proud. However, seeing as how they've been getting stronger and stronger, maybe once he gains back his power, maybe he could gain a power much greater than his own already. This could be the secret. He's like, well, you did mention that you were thinking about having somebody else. I have no knowledge of who this could possibly be. Mirio? I think his name is Mirio. Just then, Mirio, he comes up from the ground, and he's like, sup? And he's like, holy shit, a naked man. All Might's like, oh, yeah, people aren't really used to that yet. This is Mirio. Yeah, he was the guy that I was talking about. Oh, I see. He has a petrification quirk? One that allows him to go through... penetration quirk? Mirio's like, yeah. He's like, isn't that, like, one of the worst quirks? He's like, yeah. I trained for all my power, bitch. And Deku's like, holy shit. Yo, I want to train this guy. And All Might's like, no, he's all mine. And Deku's like, god damn it. How about a trade? You give me All for One, and you allow me to train Mirio. All Might's like, wouldn't you just take the One for All thing anyways? Just take the trade, alright? He's like, alright, fine. Take it. As then he picks out one of his hairs and puts it on his hand. Alawa's like, what the fuck? He's like, what? Didn't you know that's how it goes? How did you gain a successor? I guess someone ate my hair when I was dead? Well, that's really disgusting. I know, what the fuck? What is wrong with people? He's like, well, you're gonna have to eat it anyways to take my thing. Take my gene. He's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Remember the deal? Alawa's like, oh god, okay, fine. It's crunchy. He's like, he's doing it really slowly just to get reactions from All Might and Mirio. As Mirio's like, I would have to do that? And Mirio's like, wait a minute, before you eat it, why don't we fight to see who is stronger? And Deku's like, knows that Alawa is stronger? And Deku's like, the Deku side of Alawa's like, you don't want to fight. And Mirio's like, I'm pretty sure I want to fight. Mirio, you don't want to fight. He's like, I want to fight. And then All Might's like, he doesn't want to fight. Mirio's like, don't talk for me. I shall do this in the name of, becoming the successor, right? All Might's like, okay. And then Mirio's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, and Deku and all the nurses are like, he shouldn't be doing this. He just got up. Like, he shouldn't be able to do this. And it's actually a pretty even match because Deku's unable to use his left arm. That downgrades his power a lot. He starts to learn how to fight again with just using one arm. Having to protect and also attack with one arm is very difficult. He starts to use his legs a lot more. And noticing that actually his psyche was damaged quite a lot during that fight from before. From Bakugo being blown up and all that stuff, it really traumatized him and shot him and Alawa back to like what they were before a lot. Like they regressed a lot. And however, he can tell that there's also a second psyche there now, like a one that he doesn't know what it is. Like it's kind of his rage psyche. However, Deku figuring this out throughout the battle, he starts to shift the tides halfway through, able to finally unlock the lightning power once more. He shocks the ground with by doing a hammer like fist with lightning in his hand coming up from the sky, all the way down, which collects lightning on the way down and hits the ground. It shoots lightning throughout everything and shocks Mirio, and Mirio is not able to dodge it or anything, so that just basically means Mirio is unable to dodge any of his lightning now. So Mirio loses. Mirio accepting defeat like a man, he gets on one knee, he's like, "You have truly bested me." He's like, "Okay, give me the hair now." Deku takes up the hair and then eats it. He's like, "Huh. No change." As then All Might's like, "Are you sure? I can feel my power being drained." Deku's like, "Maybe." As then, he fires off a shot from his fist. However, it only the air pressure only goes as far as it was before. Huh. As then he tries to conjure lightning from the sky and nothing changes. Something happened. Some type of power that he had gained from Alpha One. I mean, One for All is not appearing. It's hidden somewhere. Where could it have gone? As All Might's like, "Well, we shouldn't think of it too much. Maybe it just needs to be unlocked." Deku's like, "No, that can't be it. But sure, let's go with that for a second." As then he hears, "Deku, where did you go?" As he's like, "Oh shit." And then All Might's like, "I'll leave you to that." He's like, "No, you can't leave me now. I don't want to deal with her. She's going to be all like, 'Oh no, you're so hurt.'" He's like, "Is that a bad thing?" As Mirio's like nodding like, yeah. How is that a bad thing?" He's like, because you know how women. Fine, I'm over here. As then she like bursts out the top of the medical ward and then like lands straight on it and hugs him and like takes him to the ground with the hug tackle. As she's like kissing him on the cheek and like all over it, and she's like, "Thank God, you had me so worried. I thought you had gone off and chased down Alpha One." And Deku's like, "He's still alive." And then All Might's like looks a little nervous as he's like, "Oh yeah, and you'd think that we'd defeat him by this point." And Deku's like, "I see. I feel your power regressing anyway, so you probably lost because of that." "No, actually, that is a reason, yes. But when I was defeated, before All for One could just like straight out kill me, your friend, the one with the gigantic tail, came in and saved me." "What? Ojiro? You can't be serious. That's where he was." "Yeah. He actually almost killed Alpha One. If it wasn't for all the villains, if it wasn't for, Endeavor coming out from nowhere and then shifting into some girl that stabbed him, well, we would all be, Alpha One would be dead by this point." "A girl with a shifting quirk? This is only getting more interesting. And she was able to use his flames." He's like, "Yeah. Ugh, God. So this means, well, basically, maker to reader, this means that the villains are gaining more power. Like their quirks are evolving quicker somehow. Like they're becoming much, much more powerful, even though there's smaller amounts of them. They have to survive. As such, Toga has gained, being able to use people's quirks as she's disguised as one of them, but only for a short time, I believe. I haven't figured out what the evolution is. So, people's quirks are evolving past their original points, which Deku is soon to figure out what exactly it would be. Deku makes his way home as, it's a swift ride with Midnight as she takes him slowly home and then goes to the door. As he opens up the door, the kid immediately rushes straight towards him and bashes her face and stuffs her face into his chest as she says, "I wasn't worried a freaking second, you idiot." As he's like, sounds like you're pretty worried. She's like, no, I wasn't. Shut up. And then she like stomps away. She's like, you had us all so worried. God. As he looks over to Midnight, you know, she's like, she's worried too. As he's like, I know that for sure. As, you know, Deku sort of makes his way up to the window and looks down upon the city. He says, what is going to happen next for this place? What should I do as its #1 hero now? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope I'll see you sometime, somewhere. Goodbye.